Hi, I'm Qing Fan. My presentation is to introduce Martin Luther King. He is African American, was born in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. He was a poster, social activities, civil rights, and he wa- and also a civil rights leader. In April 1968, he traveled to Memphis, where he was uh, assassinated after leading a strike. He was only 39 years old. So his vision, uh, he he tried whole life to fight for the human rights equality and against the discrimination and the inequalities of blacks in society, and also as a Christian minister, his main influence was Jesus Christ and the Christian in Gospels, which he would almost always quote in his religious meetings, speeches at church, and in public discourses. His faith was strongly based in Jesus commandment of loving your neighbor as yourself, loving God above all, and loving your enemies, praying for them and blessing them. Overall, for my research, uh, I believe King was described as a confident man who had a strong, commanding voice that was drawn from his preaching practices. He was also prolific and spontaneous, sometimes dictating the scripted speeches to speak to the people directly from the heart. Those characteristics allowed he to be a great influence to the American society as he inspired the masses and led successful uh, non-government protests that contributed to formulation of non-discriminatory, uh, such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Also, he is among one of the most recognized orators and the leaders of the 20th centuries who fought relentlessly for the rights of his people. His greatest strength was his communication skills that made him a great public figure and a speaker able to vividly describe situation and offer a clean message. King also personalized his talks so as to connect it to the audience, which drove the impact of the crown leading to more followers. Hence, he had more power at his disposal, and that allowed him to engage national leaders and help his people live better. But stopping discrimination, he will forever be remembered for the changes he has brought to the United States as well as the world at large. So I want to talk about the death secret of Martin Luther King. So we all know Martin Luther King was assassinated on the evening of April 4, 1968, uh, at the lone parking lot in Memphis, Tennessee. So we found the real killer. The real name of the killer was James Ariary, a serial robber who had been sentenced to 20 years in prison and except from prison in April 1967. On the morning of April 4, 1968, he lived in Mrs. Passerito's apartment and shoot Martin Luther King in the evening for their criminal facts. Ellery confessed that he was sentenced to 99 years, but he soon after the trial insisted that he is wrong and asked for a new trial of the case. And also, people try to figure out the best secret uh, about the FBI. So we got some news show it was suspected that the FBI was involved in the case, and the FBI has paid attention to Martin Luther King's action in the 1950s, and in 1964, the Michigan problem was enacted. At the press conference, the Federal Board of the Investigation Director, Howard assessed Martin Luther King is one of the country's largest cheaters. He also, after Martin Luther King was arrived, the Nobel Peace Prize sent someone to send him threatening letters and asked him to be careful to thank the people. And this is my presentation, and thank you for watching it.